You will show the slack and the late start timeline information. So we begin with the ID, which is equal to sequence count of the man hours and the predecessor. So data validation over the ID range and save. And let's say we can assign a maximum of 5 men per task. So data validation, list of items, we can hire a maximum of 5 men per task. And let's say there are 3 shifts in a day. So data validation, there are 3 shifts in a day. 3 shifts. So that means three, 1, 2, and 3. There are 3 shifts in a day. So we continue with the early start timeline, which is equal to Sparkline, start and the duration, and the options. First option, the chart type will be bar. That's the first option. Second option, color one will be white. And the third option, maximum, will be the maximum or this J1. But we lock the reference because we're dragging this formula downwards along the column. And then hit enter. Right now we have an error, but we'll fill up the rest. So we continue with the start day formula, which is equal to ifs if B3 is empty, then it's empty. If B3 is equal to the ID A3, then it is 0. That means the task precedes itself or follows itself. The last condition, if B3 is greater than 0, then index B3 over the end day range or the finish day range. And we lack the reference because we're dragging this formula. And now that we have locked the reference, we can drag this formula downwards for the first 3 tasks. Then the duration in days. So our formula, the number of man hours divided by the quantity 8 times the number of shifts times it's the number of shifts times the number of men, and enter. And we have to clean this up. So we have a condition that if the man hours is empty, the man hours column is empty, then it should be empty. So if the man hours column is empty, that's man hours column is empty, then it's empty. Otherwise, calculate. Enter. Now that's better. Continue with the finish day column. So our formula, the total of the start plus the duration. And we have to clean this up. So we have a condition that if the start day column is empty, then it should be empty. So if the start day column is empty, then it should be empty. Otherwise, calculate. That's better. So we have the RA formula. Next, the end, the project end date. So this is the maximum of this. That's the project end date. Then the project start date, which is equal to the minimum of this. So we have the maximum and the minimum. And the minimum, which is this. Now the total duration will be the maximum minus the minimum. Now we continue. Let's say our default is 1 man per shift and 1 shift per day. That's our default. So we drag this downwards as our default. So we have the duration. Let's say task one has no predecessor. So this it precedes itself. So that's 0. Task 2 follows task 1. Task 3 follows task 2. And we drag this downwards to refresh. And we drag this downwards to refresh. Next, we continue with the late start information, which is equal to, this should be equal to, we drag this downwards. So this is equal to this, and this is equal to this. So these three items are equal. Now we continue with the late start. So this is equal to our formula, the late finish minus the duration. And this one equal to our formula of the duration here, the number of days. They should be equal. So we have to clean this up. So to clean that, we have a condition. If this is empty, then it is empty. So if the late finish is empty, so if late finish is empty, then it's empty. Otherwise, calculate. Now it's finished. It's complete. That's better. Then we continue with the late finish formula, which is this formula. So we start with the first formula. So this is copy. And we paste it here. That's the very first formula. Then we substitute condition 2. Condition 2 is equal to OR. So OR of condition 1, comma count if $3, comma B equal to A3. So we're going to copy this formula. Copy. And then we replace that to condition 2. So we replace condition 2 with that formula. And finally, so we go back. So we're left with condition 1. Condition 1 is equal to and A equals 3, comma, count if $3 to B, which is equal to A3 equal to 1. So we'll copy this condition. We'll copy this as a condition. Copy. And we'll replace condition 1. We replace condition 1 with this. So let's go back. Now this expression matches to this. We can enter the equal sign. And we drag this downwards for the first three tasks. Uh, so this should be deleted. So now we can continue with the timeline, which is equal to, just as we'll copy the timeline, same as this one, except that we'll replace we'll replace H with letter M, and we'll replace letter I with letter N, and we'll replace J with letter O, with letter O. This is letter O, and this is M. That's our maximum. So what we have now is the formula for this sparkline. And we drag this downwards. So now we have the first three. Let's say I would like to add three more. Insert. So I would like to add three more tasks. And of course, we'll still use the default. And we drag this downwards. And we drag this also downwards. We copy this down. Except for this, we don't need that. We'll copy this down. And we copy this down. Let's say task 4 follows task 3. You will notice this because these are slacks, so we have to calculate the slack. The slack is equal to our formula of the late start minus the early start, and enter that. But we need, if this is this is 0, so we have to clean this up. So we will clean this up if this is empty. So if this is empty, if this is empty, then it's empty. Otherwise, calculate. Now that's better. So let's say task 3, task 4, task 5 follows task 4. And task 6 follows task 5. So here we have there's no slack because they're all empty. I mean, the late start and the early start are the same. We continue. I'd like to add some more. Let's say I would like to add 4 more. So I'll drag this, insert 2 more. Let's say I'll add 2 more. 4, make that 4. So and drag this, our default, and we'll drag this downwards. We'll drag this downwards, and we'll drag this downwards, and we'll drag this downwards. Now we can assign task 7 follows task 6, and task 8 follows task 7, and task 9 follows task 8.